What's going on, you guys? Kenny here, also known as SolidFan85. Welcome to another vlog. I know it's been a while. I still don't have internet, at least not totally. It's going in and out. I'm hoping it's fixed early next week. I'm currently going to use mobile data to upload this recording. I basically record it here on the computer, upload it to my phone, send it out via mobile data. So that's the way I've been doing things. But without internet, it has allowed me to kind of, get some stuff done without feeling that I have to stream or play online games, so on and so forth. So it's been a bit of a weird situation, but I've tried to make the most of it. With that said, I have had my moments to where this sucks that I don't have internet, but it is what it is. It happens. Like I said, they've got to replace some of the wiring in my current place, and it makes me think that it's such a first world problem that I'm living in right now. It's crazy. I'm very privileged. I'm a very privileged guy. And when I started thinking about that, I started looking back on how the last few years have gone for me. And even more so beyond that, how my life has gone. It's funny, I say the word privileged, other people use the term blessed or lucky, you know. But the truth is, I'm privileged. I mean, in a lot of ways. I have decent parents that didn't exactly have the easiest background or marriages or so on and so forth, but they've made the most in ways out of what they have. And in certain parts of my life, they did their damnedest to provide for me as a child, for my siblings as well. And I learned from that. I learned how to take my surroundings, take my lessons, and apply them to my actual life. Now, obviously, somewhere along the way, I had my struggles. I've been diagnosed certain ways, faced great darkness. But I have survived, and I'm very privileged to be where I'm at. And it's been that way a good chunk of my life. There are people that don't have it as good as I do. There are people that have parents that they may not be able to fully rely on without feeling that bad things are going to happen if they go back to where they came from, or that they'll be demeaned and abused. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about that. The one individual that I had in my life that I would have had to worry about that has passed away. When it comes to family, that was a bad part of my family, but they're no longer with us, so they're no longer a part of my life. But with that, aside from family, there's also I've always had a small circle of friends. The last few years in real life, I've had limited friends. I mean, I've had associates, people I connect with, and obviously a good amount of friends online. But when it comes to local, I moved around so much the last 10 to 12 years that I kind of closed off from it. I kind of went through this thing of putting myself out there, and reconnecting with people in general is just, what's the point? I mean, I'm just going to lose contact again. So I have currently come to the age and the understanding that it's all linked. Family, friends, your life, your choices, it's all linked. It's not just one series of events going one way and one series of events going another way. You are your life. You are who you are. And I've known this for a few years, but it's hard to apply it sometimes. But I've been very privileged, man, and being without internet, having a roof over my head, my own place so much that I've been able to help out a friend who has actually shown appreciation by getting me that hamster. You can't really see it, but it's right there. I was gonna grab it and have it up here, but she got me a wrecking ball pop figure, and it's weird because I've looked at this thing and I'm just like, there are points in people's lives where they really can't afford a whole lot. But if you have people that help you, if you have a support system, you can rebuild. And I was lucky enough to have that, and I'm lucky enough to be able to pay that forward. In the end, it's up to us. It's up to us to utilize that. It's up to us to use that, not take advantage of it, but use that, build from it, and expand our way, expand our life. You know, set up roots, restart over. That's not the easiest thing, especially after my divorce. I was in a pretty rough spot. But again, I had my parents. Now my parents have worked hard their entire life. They are by no means have any amount of money. In fact, they are in a job situation to where if they were to lose their job, they would have to move within a week. It's one of the downsides of being in their line of work. And there is a couple places they could go, but they're hitting up close to their 60s. And it's not easy to be able to continually live that way. But with that, they do have some savings, so it's not like there's no safety net there. But it's still rough. But luckily, like I said, I'm privileged enough to have it in my life. I'm privileged enough to be able to build from that, and I had that to fall back on. A lot of people my age don't. I mean, a lot of people my age come from situations to where it's just scary to go back home. It's scary to have to go through a living hell in a lot of ways, or there's no home there at all. They may end up out on the street, sleeping in the car, crashing at a friend's place, which, depending on the situation, really probably isn't that bad. But when I compare my life to that, I'm privileged. I'm so damn privileged. It's ridiculous. And I forget that, man. I forget that so much. So many times in my life. It's a struggle. It's a total struggle to live with my mental struggles and forgetting most of the time that there's so much going for me. It is reliant on me. It's reliant on me to keep it going. But I'm sitting here recording a video on a really good computer system with a bunch of collectibles behind me, or toys, whatever you want to call them, but they're collectibles. Video games. I've got multiple game systems. I've got food in my fridge. I've got running water. I've got hot water. I've got electricity. I've got a 2-bedroom apartment that I'm helping somebody restart their life while I continue to rebuild mine. I've got a great bed. I have my medical stuff I'm struggling with, but as it is, I'm doing good. And sometimes it's hard to remember that, but I'm doing good. I don't know if anybody else ever goes through the same thing. I can only guess that they do. But for those that are not in my situation, that have lost that hope, that have lost that, continue to work on yourself. Continue to build if you can. If you can find decent help, take it. Don't take advantage of them. Don't use them up. But take a brief time and use their aid to restart your life if it's given. Be sure to help out if you can. It's not easy, especially for parents, especially parents in certain situations. If you're staying with a friend, if you're staying with a relative, it sometimes can't be easy for them to take you in for whatever reason it may be. Financial, personal space, struggles they're having. But if they do, never forget that they're just there to try to help you, not try to limit you, and they're not there for you to remain there constantly or to remain there permanently. But it is a brief point in your life to where they are offering help. Capitalize on that and continue going. Don't become too reliant. Keep yourself going on your own accord if you can. Because that's what matters, and that's what really builds up your life, is you investing in it and not relying on everybody else. there are obviously going to be times when you need help. There's going to be times when you need some support. And that's what friends and family are there for. And again, I consider myself lucky to be able to have that right now in my life. My parents aren't going to be around forever. I'm 35, like I mentioned earlier, they're fixing to hit their early 60s. They've still got some time left. But at some point, they're not going to be around. And as rocky as my life has been, I've come out of it pretty decently. Another thing I wanted to touch on, I know this is a bit of a long vlog, but another staple in this whole thing is when I went through the darkest point in my life, the suicide episode. And when I checked myself in, I touched on this in a vlog a few years back, but when I checked myself into that place, I checked myself in, I was in for about 5 days. 4 or 5 days. It was a reality check. And I'll give you a description why. There were people in there with problems that were uncontrollable. And they needed help. They knew they needed help. So they either were brought there by family and friends, or they checked themselves in like I did. A couple of situations that really hit home with me that have stuck with me. There was a guy that tried to hang himself. You could literally see the rope marks around his neck. His roommate luckily rushed in at the last moment and was able to catch him, from the way the story was told to me. He hung there for a few seconds, but he caught him. His roommate caught him in time to be able to support his weight and keep him from losing air, losing oxygen. But he hung there long enough with enough body weight and pressure going down that it left marks around his neck. I don't know if those marks are still there. This was a few years ago, but they were still present as he was there. The way I remember it, he had lost his girlfriend. He was thoroughly in love with this girl, but she had cheated on him. So he decided to end it. That's a pretty big impact. If you invest with somebody so much, and then it's thrown away for moments of passion with somebody else, that's brutal. I understood where he was coming from. That's happened to me in the past, a long time ago, but I can understand it. But it was so heavy for him that he couldn't deal with it. Another situation was a girl that was addicted to alcohol. She couldn't stop drinking. At the point when I was in there, she was checking herself in. She was getting help, but she lapsed while she was checked in, and she started drinking the hand sanitizer out of the sanitizing stations. She'd take a cup over. I saw her put some in a cup. I just figured maybe she had OCD. She wanted to keep clean, so she took it with her. A couple hours later, I see her drinking the cup. And the next day at our group therapy, she is literally wasted on the table. She had fell unconscious from drinking too much. Literally heard her head slam on the table as her body weight fell onto it. One of the most brutal things I've ever seen. And I've seen alcoholism in its full glory, thanks to certain parts of my family and certain family members that I've actually lost because of alcohol. I currently still have people in my family that struggle with alcohol. I have been known to drink a little bit, and some of my regulars have seen it on stream, but that was another wake-up call from somebody else that had checked themselves in. Anyway, my time in that place was a wake-up call. Like I said, it was a reality check. It was a gut check saying, while I may have my problems, there are people far off more worse than I have it. And it also helped me appreciate when I reflect back on what I currently have. It helps me appreciate it more. It helps me appreciate the good I can do for the world, the good I can do for myself, like keep going, not giving up. I'm going to have my moments. I'm going to have my struggles. I'm going to have a lot of times where I want to self-isolate. And I'm going to need to, because that's what helped me, but it's something I need to work towards not happening so much. But we do what we got to do. And I'm lucky. I'm blessed. I'm privileged. I'm me. It's my life. It's my choices. It's my family. It's my friends. It's my channel. And I do what I can to help my life. But I also feel that I need to give back, that I need to pay forward into the universe for what's come fairly easy for me in certain ways. Anyway, this was a long vlog, but I felt inspired to talk about it. I felt that I needed to, especially after not vlogging for a while because of loss of internet. Again, first world problem. With that said, though, internet connection is pretty much a requirement nowadays. It's while it is still a pretty high privilege to be able to play online games and stream, record, so on and so forth, it is becoming more and more of a requirement to stay up to date, to work, to go about our lives, so on and so forth. Especially during this whole Corona thing. People have become very reliant on online orders, on online communication, video chats, working from home, so on and so forth. I think that's going to be one of the things to come out of this whole Corona situation as of this recording here in 2020. It's probably be a few years from now. Some people may watch this, but you'll probably see a world that's a lot more reliant. You'll probably see a lot more remote positions from home, because I think a lot of companies are going to see the benefit of people working from home. While it may drive people nuts to be at home so much, I think a lot of companies are going to see a rise in employee happiness at working from home. It takes a lot of control. I've done it myself. I don't have to do that right now, thankfully, but I have done it before. It's not easy. But it does feel a lot more comfortable. So I couldn't really do it because of my internet problems right now. I wouldn't be able to keep a job if I had to rely on my internet. But it's a real reality for some folks, and it is a requirement, but it's also in a lot of ways a privilege, because there's a lot of people that can't do that. There's a lot of people that don't even have a roof over their head or food to eat. They struggle. And the thing is, we all struggle, but there's always a degree of struggle depending on who you are or where you come from. So anyway, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. This was a heck of a vlog, nearly 18 minutes. I'm not sure who's going to make it this far, but if you did, I appreciate you. Remember to keep going. Remember you are awesome, and to never let the world tell you otherwise. And these are always therapeutic for me, so that's why I tend to ramble a little bit. But this one was fairly deep, and could go deeper, but I think I've said enough. Anyway, stay awesome. Remember that you are awesome, and never let the world tell you otherwise. And I'll see you in the next video or stream. And here's hoping it's soon. Peace.